and I'm not exaggerating. I'm really excited, and I feel happy that I had an interview slash test yesterday. So it was for a dispatch position where you dispatch. I thought it was just for paramedics, but obviously I had thought about it. I'm like, how would the 911 calls come through and it just be for emergency? But it's actually for, everything, police, firefighters, and EMS, and also, yeah, so it's for all of that, whatever emergencies. Excuse me. Um, Anyways, so at first in the morning, I got a little bit discouraged. Kind of gave me deja vu because my phone rang and it was a few minutes before I was leaving. I was getting ready to head out the door. And I answered, and the lady that I spoke with prior that told me, everything about the interview was on the other line. And she said, basically, she's all, hey, do you have anyone that could come sit in with you, to help you read whatever at the interview? And I said, no, we spoke about it and you said you could. And she said, well, that she had talked to HR and HR does not allow that. So I was like, okay, well, I said, honestly, it would have been nice to know this ahead of time so I could have made my own accommodations. I said, but I still really would like to come in for the interview, so I'll see what I can do. And she said, yes, I'm sorry, HR should have contacted you sooner and let you know. I'm sorry. Should have let you know about that. So I said, yeah, because usually it's on the company to make accommodations, but I mean, maybe that's more so for the job. But anyways, I called her back and my cousin had said that she would go with me. So, okay, cool. So we get there because I was mad. I was thinking, here we go again. Another person that's going to be like, no, before I even have a chance to have the interview, because that's happened to me before. Actually, it's happened quite a few times. So, anyways, I go to the interview and they take us into the room where there's a computer and it's called a critical test. And basically, it's a test that's sectioned off into different little categories or parts. And so there's prioritizing calls. Um, there's a math section. There's a, what else was there? There's a part where you have to like listen to calls. You have to listen to what they're telling you, remember details, and you can write notes. But at the same time, like the little alerts are coming in and calls are coming in for emergencies. So you have to select which truck to dispatch. Is it firefighters? Is it police or firemen, police, EMS, or a utility vehicle? And so each of those, of course, are for different reasons. And according to the emergency, you have to send out, the proper vehicle or team to go out there and help. So that's happening at the same time as you got to input, other information. So it's basically showing you like you got to multitask and think quickly and also listen at the same time. And you got to kind of type as quickly as you can, but accurately at the same time, because of course it's life and death, and you got to make sure you do that well. So it was different parts, and it was funny because my cousin was getting nervous reading it to me, but I was just focused on getting the license plate numbers right and the telephone numbers right and the message right. And overall, the only part that was difficult for me was obviously the maps because it's visual. So, I mean, my cousin tried to explain as best she could by taking my hand and showing me on the screen where the buildings were and the locations that they needed me to get the car from point A to point B. And so that part was really challenging, but other than that, I felt okay. I felt pretty confident in the tests. And so, um, anyways, I'm gonna go back next Friday with a lady from the Work Source Center, and she's gonna kind of check out what accommodations I need. And I'm also going to probably take, I don't know if I'm gonna take another test or do what, but I did okay on the prioritizing calls. I got 100% on that. I'm not bragging. I'm only simply saying because I want people to know and have awareness out there that visually impaired people are capable of working. We're capable of multitasking, and we're capable of doing a whole lot. We just aren't given the opportunity, and maybe at the workplace, the right accommodations aren't being met. And honestly, there needs to be more awareness in the workplace for us, you know. There's a really bad, like, I think, misconception in society when it comes to visually impaired or blind people that we're incapable of doing, of performing, of, you know, handling tasks and things. But honestly, not all of us, maybe not all of us can, because just like anyone else, if you're spoiled or catered to most of your life, then of course it's harder for those people to know of how to take initiative and do what they need to, you know, and they're used to people taking the reins and taking over, you know. But people like me, I lost my sight when I was 10 years old, and I've always tried to do my very best to do things on my own, you know, like everything I can do on my own. I cook for my children, I clean them, since they were babies, I took care of my children. I did all that. And people would ask me and still ask me certain things that are kind of offensive, but they don't mean to be, you know, and I try not to take offense when they're like, oh, so how do you know, do you dress yourself or do you whatever, blah, blah, blah. Like, yeah, I do that too. They're like, you know, like, but now it's like, I kind of want to give silly answers now. Like before, I would get all like upset about it, or I wouldn't show it. I would just be polite and either answer or, change the subject. Answer the question or change the subject. Now I just want to give funny answers like, do you dress yourself? Yes, but I prefer if somebody else undresses me. You know, something stupid like that, because it's just like, and who takes care of your kids? I do. Like, what do you mean who takes care of my kids? Like, ask them, it's just funny. But in the workplace, there needs to be more awareness, definitely, when it comes to us, because we can do it. There's a lot of us that want to. We're determined. There's blind people that have become lawyers, psychologists. I have one of my best friends is a psychologist. She's amazing. She's traveled the world. She's got a guide dog, and she's inspiring, and she doesn't let it stop her at all, ever. And I honestly want a dog one day also, but that will happen in the future. But my point is, it's really frustrating that we get turned away when we're capable. And there's several sections of the test where, there were, maybe, I think it's like 5 or 6 parts of the test. And maybe 4 of them I got 100%. And then there was a couple of parts that I, messed up on, like the maps, of course. And one part of the test I didn't realize I was being timed, so that was also a factor. But I felt confident in being able to do it. And I told the lady there that I feel like I can do it. I know I can, if I just have the right accommodations, like a screen reader. Because a lot of the times that's what it is. And sometimes some of the equipment may not be, in some workplaces, compatible with certain screen readers, but you find ways around that. Or, sometimes I feel like they haven't even tried to see if the screen reader is compatible with their equipment or not. And that's a problem as well. Because they kind of shut us out at the door. They're like, oh, there's no way around this. But they don't know. They don't have the knowledge, and some of them aren't even trying to learn about it. So any employers out there, if you are wondering if you should hire a visually impaired person, you definitely should, and look into services from the state. There's the ADA that, we have rights, and we are able to work if we have the right accommodations and your equipment is compatible with the reading programs. The only thing I feel I can't do is drive. And no, I don't want one of those self-drivable cars because I don't trust it. But one day, I hope to make enough money to maybe hire a chauffeur, get my own car, and take my kids or whatever, wherever I want to. That's my goal. One of my goals. But I feel really happy that I had that interview and test. and I can't wait to go back, and hopefully this will work out and they'll get the right accommodations for me and I'll be able to do the job because I really want it. I really need it. I'm praying for it, and I just really want to set a good example for my kids, and I also want to feel good about myself, like I'm doing something. Yeah, I support my kids, I take care of my family, but I'm a mother. I'm supposed to do that. It's not like I should get brownie points for that because I shouldn't. Yeah, I'm blind, but those are my kids. Like, they didn't ask to be here, and I just want to set a good example for them, and I want to feel like I'm doing something for them, and I want them to see their mother thrive and be strong and provide and all that. I mean, they've seen a lot of that, but I want them to see me work. I want them to see me do. And I don't know how to put it. I hope I don't sound stupid. I hope you guys get where I'm coming from. They matter so much to me. They're the world, and they're my world, and I want them to just see me as a full woman, and I don't know how to put it really, but I want to feel like I'm doing something. And then I always felt like I have a purpose to help people, and I feel like a dispatch position, hopefully I can get it right and I can get that job, and I feel like I'm helping people in a way. Of course, it's the firemen, and police and all them that are helping, but if I can help by sending them out there and hopefully, doing it in a right way, I could help them. You know what I mean? But anyways, my interview was awesome. I felt confident about it. Oh, and I didn't even tell you guys, like the night before I went to go get my interview outfit, and there was a really cool girl in the store. And for, let me just say, like for blind women, especially those of us who do want to look good or try, because I don't think of myself like that, but I want to feel good, We like to try to look presentable, pretty, sexy, cute, whatever it is. We want to too, you know what I mean? And sometimes it's hard because we may not know what the exact fashion is out there, So I don't go shopping very often because, well, I don't unless it's for my kids, So I met this cool girl, her name, well, I'm not going to give her name, but she is really cool. She helped me pick out my outfit, and I was really happy with it. And she was cool, and she even wanted to stay in touch, and I thought that was awesome. And if she ever watches this video, thank you. I think you're the coolest, and that's like a start of a new friendship. But she got exactly where I was coming from, because like a lot of times when not a lot of times, again, I don't go a lot, but when I go shopping, people like assume because I can't see, I want to look like I'm 192 or maybe like I'm 3. I don't know. But no, I want to, you know what I'm saying. You want to look, presentable, good. And this is like a vulnerable part of me sharing this with you guys, but yes, we want to look good too, whether we can't see or not. We want to be presentable and appealing and, so yeah, so she helped me, and I think she's awesome, and I appreciated it so much, and I think that we're gonna be cool friends now, which is crazy, because at the end of the shopping, she was like, so yeah, okay, get your number, you still want to get my number or whatever, and I think that's awesome, and there are some really good people in the world, and I just feel really happy in the last few days. Like, I'm trying to look at things differently, and honestly, I feel like God has touched my heart and has touched me in the last couple of days, and I feel thankful. And I want to keep this feeling going and just get rid of negative people and things in my life that I feel are kind of weighing on my heart, because it's not fair anymore. I give a lot of myself, and maybe sometimes too much. And I'm not going to go into that, because I could go on a tangent and say, oh, you can never give too much. But yeah, to some people who don't appreciate it and crush it all the time don't deserve it, That's a whole nother topic. But anyway, please pray for me. I really want to get that job. Don't give up no matter what you feel like you're being discriminated against, because even if I don't get this job, it is not going to stop me from trying. And I've already thought about going back to school, and if I do that, then great. But